Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the first live session of Module 3. My name is Vassiliki, as Enrique has already introduced me, and I will be your trainer today. Before we start, I would like to know how many of you have already watched the video for Unit 3.1. If you can raise your hand or...
Excuse me, how many what? Can you repeat the question, please?
How many of you have watched the video for Unit 3.1? It's uploaded in the Pulse module on our platform.
Did you mean they finish uploading the Module 1 or Module 2?
It's for Module 3, Unit 3.1, the first unit.
Yeah.
It's okay. The idea of today is not about repeating what was in the video. Today is about making it real for your context, your institution, and your students. We have about 30 minutes. I don't want to take much of your time, so we have some time to discuss also. So I will cover the key ideas, and then we will spend time in conversation. Your experience is the most valuable thing in this room, so I would encourage you to share it if you have some. So let's begin. First of all, this module is led by Odyssey, which is a Greek organization that has been working with young people and especially vulnerable young people since 2016. Our focus is vocational training, employability, and entrepreneurial incubation. So what makes Odyssey particularly relevant for this module is our AstroLab facility, which is a functioning smart lab in the context we are providing it in Athens. We have three pillars: vocational skills, a makerspace for prototyping, and an incubation program for young entrepreneurs. But you may ask, why does this matter? Because everything we're going to ask you to build through this project, Odyssey and some of our partners have already built. So this module is not about theory, but sharing something that we have already created in some form. So that is our target group: vulnerable people, young people, some unemployed people, which is very relevant also for the North African countries taking part in this project. So Module 3 is the operational core of the entire Pulse program. It is about around 30 hours divided into 4 sub-modules or sub-units. And today we're going through 3.1, which is the foundations. After this comes equipment and space planning in 3.2, the institutional strategy in 3.3, mentoring in 3.4, ecosystem building in 3.5, works of design in 3.6, and finally 3.7, that you will be asked to localize everything and write your institutional action plan. Each unit builds on the previous one. So by the end of this module, you will have a usable Smart Lab action plan for your institution. Something you will be able to take back and present in your organization. That is the goal. So keep that in mind so you are able to ask questions and resolve any questions in your mind. So these are the 5 things this unit is designed to give you, our 5 objectives. By the end of Unit 3.1, you should be able to explain the structure of the full program, define what the Smart Lab is and how it differs from other models, explain the Intercom framework and what entrepreneurship means in this context. I will not go through each one in detail. You will have the video for that, which I have explained everything very broadly. But what I want to do in this session is make sure the most important ideas are clear, and that you can also connect it to your reality. So let's go through this. I want to start with these three numbers. This is the youth unemployment in Libya, Tunisia, and Morocco. Of course, they are not new to you. You work in this context every day. So you see very capable, very qualified students who cannot find a place in their economy, their labor market. And our question that we have to answer today is why. If you look carefully, you will notice something strange. There are many vacancies that employers cannot fill, jobs that nobody is doing, and at the same time we have a lot of unemployment, unfilled positions. So the problem is not simply a lack of jobs, because it's more of a mismatch, a disconnect between what our systems produce and what the market needs. From your own experience, you can think about what skills do you see your students lacking, for example.
Please, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. The sound is audible.
I can hear her.
Okay. Can the rest of you hear me clearly?
Sound is duplicated.
Salima, probably is like your laptop the problem, or try to raise your volume, because I can hear Vassiliki very well. So I don't know.
In fact, the sound is duplicated.
But just for you, I don't know. But I mean, for me, not. So I don't know the other. Maybe try to, I don't know. I do also
Sylvia,
well, Selwa is saying.
excuse me, Sylvia.
Yes.
Sylvia. When we listen to you, it's okay, you know, the pronounce is okay. But for your friend who's make the lecture today, a little bit there is something wrong. I don't know. Maybe there is misunderstanding the language, in the sound, duplication. I don't know, but there is something wrong.
Are you in the same space? Maybe your microphones echo on each other.
If you are in the same room.
No, we are not in the same room. One in Morocco, one in Libya.
No.
One in a way. Okay, but in a way, try to speak a little bit loudly and spit, as the Italians say, Sylvia.
Okay.
One by one. Well,
okay, I will try. Thank you. So
I will try. Is clear now?
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, Vassiliki.
So as I was saying, I would urge all of you to think about what skills do you see your students most lack when they leave, like not technical skills, but you know, the other ones: initiative, problem solving, communication, the ability to deal with uncertainty and failure. These are exactly what employers report as missing, and these are not things that you can teach only in a lecture. You cannot explain initiative to someone. You have to create conditions where they can practice it. So that's the idea behind a smart lab. So this is a strategic project. PULSE is a strategic project that has these 7 objectives, as you can see: enhancing the vet educator capacity, upgrading the curricula, establishing smart labs, building on transnational networks, developing programs, digital pedagogy, and of course, fostering public and private collaboration. These all form a system, so you have to work on all of this. I want you to notice the alignment here, that PULSE connects the EU partnership with the Southern Neighborhood. specifically the flagships on skills and digital transformation, and it connects the African Union's agenda for 2063 also. This matters because when you build a smart lab, you're not just doing a project for your institution, you are contributing to your regional and international context, of course. That means there is interest in what you're doing, and that can open doors for resources and partnerships that are not yet available to you. So through a survey that was conducted in 2022, vet trainers, of course, students and industry representatives found that 84% agreed that soft skills development is essential to improve employability. That is universal between trainers, students, and also employers. None of these are technical skills. The one you can see identified, initiative, taking, problem solving, and all this. All of them are what the Smart Lab is designed to develop. Now look at the comparison on the right side. You can see the traditional approach, and then our Smart Labs approach, which is the project-based learning, risk-free experimentation, and problem solving. So what exactly is a Smart Lab? Let's go through that. In PALS, a Smart Lab is a dedicated physical and pedagogical space within a vet institution designed to facilitate the development of competencies, entrepreneurial competencies, through experiential learning, resource access, and also structured support. Two words matter here: the physical, which is a real space with real equipment, and then pedagogical, which is the methodology, a program, a purpose. You need both. Without the methodology, a Smart Lab, it's just a room with equipment, and without the space, it is just like another lecture, a workshop, however you want to call it. So we have 4 components for a Smart Lab: the physical resources, which is the hardware, the 3D printers, the workbenches, the hand tools, everything around that, the digital tools, the software, the infrastructure, and finally, the human capital, the programming, the workshops, the mentoring, everything around that. I urge you to ask yourself at this point, like looking at your institution right now, do you have any of these 4 things already? Or partially, maybe? This is a question for you, just to think, like, are you starting from zero, or do you have some structure already there that you can utilize moving forward?
Do you need an answer now?
If you want to take the initiative to speak, of course. The idea is to share also. So if you have some feedback.
Okay, for our case, CIT in Libya, we have already part of this, but we are looking to improve and to get more infrastructure, software, capacity, a lot of things we are needing to improve. So this project will help us to improve what we have already.
Okay.
Yeah,
so I'm sure that if more people would also speak, we would get to the conclusion that none of you are starting from zero. We already have some infrastructure that we can build upon. And we can move forward. But since we are still talking about Smart Labs, it's very important to understand also what Smart Lab is not. Because we have seen a lot of similar ideas around these spaces. We have computer labs, business incubators, makerspace, but the Smart Lab serves vet students at early stages. That's the difference. Diverse readiness levels, many of whom have never thought of themselves as potential entrepreneurs. So it's not about people who have already, that have already developed an idea or anything. It's all of this combined. The more, I'm sorry, yeah. The most important distinction is this. A Smart Lab accepts failure as a learning outcome. An incubator does not. A Smart Lab is designed to nurture potential, to get all of the ideas, not just filter the best ones, and developing the capacity of every student, however that may look. That is what makes it the right model for vet education specifically. So a Smart Lab operates across 3 interconnected domains. I want you to know this well because they come up throughout the entire module, so you will come upon it also later. The first one is training and capacity building. Yes, sorry. This is the knowledge layer, workshops, courses, curriculums. The second one is a makerspace and resources. This is where ideas become physical with prototyping equipment, software tools, collaborative workspace. And lastly, incubation and mentorship. This is the relational layer with experienced mentors, peer reviews, networking, etc. Notice where all 3 intersect, which is the competence building that we have already mentioned before. That is always the goal, to build competences. Every activity in your Smart Lab should be designed with that in mind. So now I want to talk about how we define entrepreneurship in PALS, because it is probably different from what we are used to hearing. When most people hear entrepreneurship, they think about business starting, right? Opening a company, but that's not exactly what we mean. Entrepreneurship, as the European Commission has developed in the Intercom framework in 2016, is a transversal competence which applies to all spheres of life: personal development, practicing in society, participating in society, entering the job market, of course, as an employee and also as a self-employed person. None of these specify starting a business, right? It says act on opportunities and create value for others, however that may look. That it's much broader, right? It applies to an employee, it applies to public sector, it applies to students. Entrepreneurship as an attitude, I would say, and not just a career choice. So this slide goes into more detail on each competence that we will be trying to develop. I will not read all of them. You have the video for that. I have gone into detail. What I want you to take from this slide is one practical message. When you design activities for your Smart Lab, whether it is a workshop or a project challenge or a mentoring session, you should be able to point to this list and say that this activity that I am developing is specifically developing, competence 1.1, competence 1.2, whatever. Like have something very specific in mind. If you cannot make that connection, the activity may not be serving a purpose. You need to find that purpose. This framework is a design tool you can use for that. So this slide gives you the theoretical foundation for why the Smart Lab model works. I will keep this brief, but it is important because as professionals, you should be able to explain, defend your pedagogical choices to also your institution. So 3 theories support what we are doing: the Kolb's experiential learning cycle, situated learning, and also space as pedagogy. Finally, assessment in the Smart Lab is also competence-based. We shift from asking what students know to asking what they can do through prototypes, speeches, mentor feedback. These are the right tools to assess entrepreneurial competences. So we have our context here, right? Let me say something about our context. So Libya, Tunisia, and Morocco share the same core challenge. So of course, you can also, if you have a different opinion, you can speak. But your specific contexts are very different, and PALS is also designed to respect that. In Tunisia, we have an ecosystem that is developing, and some institutions, like our partners, INSET, have already been recognized as entrepreneurial centers. So their task is to go deeper into that. In Morocco, there is a model of Stargate that the UM6P already has, and also SIF that has had entrepreneurship in its curriculum for a few years. So here we are talking about scaling and connecting to what already exists again. And of course, in Libya, the context requires a different approach also, which is more foundational, more adaptive. The demand for basic capacity, basically. So this means each of you will implement your Smart Lab differently, and there is no one single model that works for all of you. So I would say, ask yourself, what is the one specific challenge that we have in our context, and what we will face when we will build our Smart Lab. Also, if you want to speak, you can speak, of course. So this slide shows the baseline across our 6 partner institutions in the EMC region. I want you to look at this as not just a ranking, but a map of starting points for each institution. Now I would like to speak about our own example. This is Astrolab, as we have mentioned, that has been operating for some years. We have had 400 participants, a lot of them vulnerable, and the outcomes span both employment and venture creation. 3 things stood out as success factors: the importance of the quality of mentorship, the cohort effect, which was structuring students into groups, created peer accountability and support networks, and also the tangible making, giving students the chance to actually build physical things. And also 3 challenges, keeping people engaged, maintaining volunteers, and of course, expectation management is also a very important one. These are the lessons from people who have built and run and infrastructure close to Smart Lab. So keep them also in mind for your own adventures. Our second case study is, of course, Stargate from UM6B. This is a very large infrastructure with co-working spaces. I hope I'm not mistaken. Labs, event facilities. What makes Target relevant for all of you is, regardless of your scale, are three lessons. The mentor management scalable systems for recruiting, matching, and keeping good mentors are essential. Outcome tracking, because you need methodologies for monitoring participant progress and demonstrating impact. And lastly, stakeholder engagement. Of course, you don't need to replicate Stargate or Astrolab, but you can apply these principles for you. So let me quickly show you the road ahead. What the remaining 6 units of this module will cover. 3.2, which will be our next live session, will be about equipment and infrastructure. You will assess your space and produce a draft equipment. 3.3 is institutional strategy. You will conduct a SWOT analysis and develop your strategic framework. 3.4 is mentoring entrepreneurs, recruitment, matching, managing relationships. 3.5 is ecosystem building, stakeholder mapping, and partnerships. 3.6 is workshop design, which is basically how you design, facilitate, and assess entrepreneurial learning activities. And lastly, 3.7, which is localizing Intercomp, adapting the framework we have discussed to your context and writing your final action plan. Of course, the only mandatory assessment for each unit is our quiz, but I would advise you to also look at the reflection assessments we have created in each presentation and try to produce as much as you can, so you have something really tangible at the end of this module. Because each unit is aimed to produce something that you can keep and use. That is your deliverable. So a quick word on how this program works, because I want you to get the most out of it, however you can. So 75% of our sessions is, of course, asynchronous, as you already know, with the videos and the reflection exercises. You do this at your own pace before each live session. And then we have our synchronous sessions, like this one. And the purpose of the live session is not just for me to lecture, but it is also for questions, discussions, and most importantly, peer learning between all of you. So the adult learning principles behind the design are 3. Prior to experience, everything connects to your existing professional knowledge. Problem-centered, we focus on real institutional challenges. And lastly, social learning. The diverse contexts of this group are themselves a resource, so try to share them. So there are 4 clear expectations for this program that you should expect, that we expect from you, which is time allocation. Try to dedicate the full 30 hours so you can have a clear universal idea about the module from start to finish. Preparation priority, to complete every synchronous session before the live sessions, so you have some context and we can go over details during the live sessions. And reflection and complete the reflection exercises, the quizzes, everything you want. Because the more you engage with them, the more useful your plan will be at the end. And also we can go over things that you're not about. And of course, your attendance at the live sessions and your contribution if you want to contribute anything. This is the commitment. And we believe that every one of you can do that. Of course, we have reached the end of my presentation. The rest of the presentation is basically the reflection activities and the quizzes. I don't know if any of you have any questions or you want to contribute your point of view, that would be greatly valuable.
Thank you, Vassiliki.
I see a hand up.
Thanks
I don't
a
know
lot.
if you were able to hear
Vassiliki.
me.
Thank you very
No, I
much for the
thank you and
presentation.
thank you for taking the time out of your day to join the live session.
It's normal.
I see we have 14.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's very nice.
Okay.
We are starting now what we have looking for. This is the final stage, final module, but it will be interesting for us, It is now the cake what we are looking for. How we can get smart lab, equipment, information, curriculum, and we're already working on, so it will be help us, and all our colleagues will be with us. So thank you very much.
No, thank you. And
just about some information about Libya relating to the unemployment. It's 51 point something. I don't know if the source is okay or not. We will look for and we'll give you the right answer.
Okay. You can also share your ideas later, and if we have anything interesting to add, I can go over it on the next live session for Unit 3.2 before we start, as a recap, basically. But I think what's really interesting about these live sessions is that you can share your own feedback, like direct feedback, your ideas, whatever comes to mind during the live sessions, and it can all be recorded and compiled into content that we can use later. I think that's really interesting because, you don't get the chance to chat with colleagues all over the world every day. And I think you have an opportunity to utilize that to your own profit, let's say, even though I don't like the word.
Okay, thank you very much, Vassiliki. It was very interesting, and I think there are no other questions. So thanks a lot. I will upload the recording of the session to the drive, and see you next week for the second live session at the same time, right?
Yes, of
Okay.
course.
Thank you.
I see.
I think Camila
Helen.
has a raised hand.
Go ahead.
Yeah, nice to join again together for all team. I find also thank you, Sylvia, for the available presentation about the model or Open Smart Tab model. Very important, only in physical space, but about creating practical learning environment where students develop real competences through the project, mentorship, and feedback. So just one point I would like to highlight accessible to make the model more inclusive, maybe for different culture would be useful to provide material and training is more than one language, especially for students with different backgrounds and readiness level. I think the model can be strengthened by having a clear student journey. Trained mentors, simple impact measurement, and stronger links to make a reference for any subject we can add it there. We can make a collaboration with the private sector through real challenges. We can learn also as a team and study more for this to reflect the real challenges faced the entrepreneurial. This is what the point we can add in this meeting. Also, we make together in the next week and more present based on it.
Thank you, Camila, for raising this point. When it comes to having the material translated, I will talk with my colleagues. I think there are ways, for example, for the video at least, to translate it. When it comes to the PDF, I mean, I don't know if we can like upload material translated in several language. I can discuss it with my colleague, and also when it comes to the update the Moodle for the student journey, that's a good idea. Again, I will talk about it with my colleague of IT that is in charge of the platform to see whether it's possible. Also because, for example, let's say some options of Moodle are not for free, so I have to like see what we can do with our budget and what we can't. But thank you very much. And yeah, I don't know if there are other questions. Yes, I see a hand raised. Go ahead, please.
Hi, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm Rashida from Balota. I am happy to be part on this rich presentation in terms of concept and learning. Thank you very much for your presentation. I would like to ask something about I saw in your slide some example for you have presented that only two entities in UMC and EACEA are connected with this program. Is it only these entities are connected, or only some examples? Please. Thank you.
You mean from Morocco?
Yes. I mean from Morocco.
So I was referring to the project partners, of course. The idea is to involve as many vet institutions as possible. But, EACEA and UM6P are project partners and have very active roles in this project. But of course, these materials and tools are available to everyone. So every institution will be able to use them.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. That's correct, Sylvia, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. See you next week. Once again, thank you, Vassiliki, and have a nice evening.
Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you, Vassiliki.
Bye,
Hello to
Sarah.
everyone.
Hello.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.